I'd like to introduce the next speaker, Mr. Paul Clements. Welcome, Paul. Thank you. And Paul started his career at D2E as a graduate engineer, and he's been with D2E for 8 years. Experience largely in commercial and leisure sector, working on multiple portfolios across the UK and providing project assurance for lift replacement modernisation. In 2020, Paul moved to the portfolio team, and since then has worked on various key programs within D2E, prominently in London. And Paul has achieved his master's degree at the University of Northampton and works towards his chartered engineer status. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Paul Clements, a vertical transport consultant from London. My research paper is based on IoT applications for vertical transport systems to tackle the social, economical and environmental issues that we see in our modern world. So my research started in 2018 with my master's dissertation, where I found that the tier 1 global lift suppliers are harnessing the power of IoT and using this on their systems. Sorry, 1 second. For those who are unfamiliar with IoT, this is the interconnection of devices and their ability to send and receive data. So this isn't necessarily new. The technology has been around since the 1980s, where they were installing this on vending machines to manage stock levels and temperature of beverages. And the term IoT actually came about in 1999. It's currently projected that the global IoT market will be worth over $1 trillion in 2024. And my research started in 2018, where I did my master's, and I found that the global manufacturers were using this technology. And now in 2022, we're seeing more of a global adoption of the IoT systems, and many of these suppliers are providing it as a standard. Third-party systems are also available, and we're seeing them emerge in the UK, which is allowing independent lift suppliers to actually provide this as a service for their clients. I've also found that the key focus on these systems are to implement targeted or predictive maintenance, reduce costs, and improve machinery downtimes or uptimes. So my research has shown that IoT can be used in more ways than just the mechanical side that we see in the industry today. If the last few years are anything to show us, it's that the social, economical and environmental issues that we've seen are changing the way that we interact with our work lives and with the way that VT equipment is used. With forecasts of 7 billion people living in urban areas by 2050, we can see how IoT will play a major role in making daily life easier, safer, more affordable, more customized, and a more comfortable experience. So as I mentioned before, IoT can help us deliver enhancements to VT systems that focus on the human side rather than the mechanical side. We'll take a look at some of the current social, economical, and environmental issues. But before that, I'll just touch on some of the hurdles that I've encountered through my research and experiments. So a lot of research is required into what sensors are to be used, what sensors are available, and then using this to pair them up with the faults that you can see and with any potential issues. So my previous research actually involved reviewing over 800 callouts over a 13-month period. On top of this, we have various setup issues, such as connectivity, security of the systems, battery life, and a range of output dashboards that are available to us. The environmental challenges we see are, as previously mentioned, there are anticipated population increases in urban areas, which are going to put demand on resources such as energy, clean air, and water. So it's increasingly important that we preserve these. We're also starting to see that stakeholders' priorities are changing towards these areas, such as net zero targets, which are key in today's industry. IoT can help with these environmental issues through the use of light sensors to monitor lift shaft lighting. As we know, some maintenance regimes can be every 3 months, and many of the lights that we use in shaft lightings are fluorescent tubes. They're notoriously bad for energy consumption. Therefore, having sensors that actually notify us of these being left on can help us save a lot of energy and a lot of money consequently. We can also use water sensors in lift pits to identify water leaks and connect these to sump pumps that automatically pump the pits before equipment damage occurs and before call-out charges are incurred. It's estimated that nearly £500,000 worth of call-out charges are related to lift pits and water leaks in the lift pits. We've also currently seen adverse weather such as droughts in the UK, which has led to a published article reporting that 3 billion litres of treated water are lost through leaking pipes in England and Wales alone. These sensors can help us identify leaks and may assist in tracing these pipe leaks in our clean water networks. We can also combine sensors to paint a holistic view and capture various environmental issues. We can also use that to potentially provide an independent strategy for each building and each lift, depending on isolating them, their lighting situation and lift numbers in general. IoT can help us with the economical issues that we're currently facing, such as global cost of living crisis, rising costs of transporting goods and energy consumption. So it's estimated that around 40% of consumed energy comes from real estate and about 10% of a building's energy is from lift usage. So how can IoT help us with this? Well, IoT is actually already helping us by nurturing component life cycles, monitoring energy consumption, decreasing financial costs with efficient maintenance regimes and efficient allocation of manpower, improving compliance and safety, reducing engineer travel cost and in turn mileage, and reducing wasted hours attending call-outs such as no fault found call-outs. But IoT can help with future strategies such as isolating lifts in non-busy times or possibly challenging the conventions of 30-second average waiting time to reduce embodied carbon. Recent global events such as COVID-19 have seen many social values of VT users change. It's reported in the Honeywell Global Report that 62% of workers would leave their jobs if employers fail to create an environment that promotes healthy well-being. We're also seeing working from home and hybrid working change the way that offices and residential buildings are being used. So many people need VT equipment to be more than just reducing call-outs and more about their health. The IoT can actually help with this, with these social concerns by the introduction of various sensors such as air quality monitoring in lift shafts or in lift cars. These can measure temperature, humidity, CO2, VOCs, and various other items. My research shows that when just looking at CO2 monitoring in isolation, we found that over a 3-month period, there were only 6 10-minute intervals where CO2 was above the acceptable levels. So sharing this information with lift users and tenants will be invaluable to help them ease their anxieties. Monitoring the lift usage also gives us a view of how buildings are being used following COVID and can help pinpoint low periods. So in these periods, lifts can actually be either isolated or they can, in tall buildings, they can utilize lift energy storage technology to make the building more efficient. We can also use the data combined with surveys to understand and challenge if the 30-second average waiting time is what we should be designing our future buildings to. As previously mentioned, sharing this data with stakeholders and passengers via dashboards can help ease worries and promote healthy buildings. My research has shown that readily available sensor technology can be retrofitted to lift systems and provide better performance and have a positive impact on social, economical, and environmental issues that we're experiencing globally. As we see populations increase, VT is going to play a major role in transporting people safely in the smart buildings of the future. IoT can significantly help with this and not just from a mechanical view. There are various next steps to my studies, but it's really up to us to add the value of the cities of the future. Thank you very much.